Okay, hello everybody. I'm going to go ahead and do this tutorial on my super flight, which is this effect here. Everybody's been wondering about it, so I'm just going to go ahead and show how I did it, because I've been trying to get a movie going myself on some effects that I've learned over the time, and it's kind of hard to get outside in the heat and stuff. Once you get out there in the heat, you lose the mood to do everything. So I'll just wait until I get in a good mood, and kids are in a good mood. That's another thing, getting them in a good mood at the same time I am. But that'll get going soon. But right now, more important, I want to get this tutorial out especially for one guy, HP Productions, John, because he's been anxious to do some of his own ideas, and if he's got some ideas, I definitely want to see those. So I want to try to help him out too, because he's a good student. He learns a lot very quick. So give him a look. HP Productions 07, I believe, at the end of it. Just look up HP Productions, and you'll find John Hopper. He's got a lot of cool effects, a lot of good ideas. Got a friend that he does effects with. They make a good team, so I definitely want to help him out. Because he's young, he doesn't, I'm a little older, so of course it's a little harder for me to get out there. I'm not that old or anything, but it just makes it a drag sometimes. All right, anyways, if you haven't looked at any of my other run trail tutorials, maybe the alpha key to get the outline, check those out first to kind of get up to speed on everything on how to get your outline. So this is just a green screen version of my son. He was walking around in a circle, and I videotaped him just standing there, and then I just rotate him to the side so it looks like he's kind of in a flight mode. And then I made the outline version of him. It's like all like glowy right now because it's just in the add mode. So that's it. So when you get those, have your backdrop, throw him on one in the comp of the solid, and put the outline on top of him or underneath him, wherever you want him in the end. But we'll get back to that. Just want to let you know what you need to get started. Here's my outline version. Here's the outline comp. You want to have the comp where you have the masks of him. After you do the auto trace and get your outline, that's what you want to be working with, not a pre-comp version of that. So get your outline and leave it at that. Leave it with all the masks on there, and then we'll turn the masks off over here. This way we have the outline. Okay, so what we need to do is just get this back to frame 0. I'm gonna, on my flight version, that key at the outline, I'm gonna go ahead and click P on the keyboard, open up my position. I'm gonna hold down the Alt key, press the stopwatch to bring up the pick whip tool, and then we're gonna go to layer. We're gonna make a new adjustment layer, and on that adjustment layer, we're gonna go to time, echo, just add an echo, and then we're going to go to distort, transform. Has to be in this order, it has to be on an adjustment layer, or this will not work. Now we're going to go to grab the pick whip while we have this view, because we need this in view. So while this is in view, just grab the pick whip. Don't click on the layer, because then you won't see the effects for the adjustment layer. Just grab the pick whip and drag it and put it over the anchor point and drop it on the transform, on the anchor point for transform. Say that right so you don't get confused. And that's it. Then we can go ahead and close the position for the outline and start working with the adjustment layer. Okay, now let's go ahead and what we need to do to make this work is you got to create. It gets a little tricky, but once you do it a couple times, even once, you'll figure out what I'm talking about. It's going to take the tweaking, of course, to get it just right. So what you want to do is just create a keyframe on frame 0 for the anchor point of transform, and then go all the way to the end of your clip. The effects. And what you want to do is hold the shift key down for anchor point on the whatever direction that you want this to flow in, whether it's width or height, and just drag it, and just keep dragging it I'm letting go of my mouse button. I'm holding down the shift key. I'm just pulling it out to a, where I want it. And as you can see, the original outline still stays there, and it's just moving the effect part of it. So once you learn how to, use the echo, you'll kind of learn where you need it to go. So I'm just spacing it to where I think it needs to be, maybe about here. Now, depending on how you do this, you'll get a different look. Space it farther apart. Depending on the scene, you're going to want to space it closer or farther together. You'll get more detail putting it closer together, but it'll mean more render time. So I'll just put it about here. Alright. So that just gives me my width of where it needs to be. Okay, now, for the number of echoes, I'm going to go and just change it from 1, and I'm going to start going up. And I'm going to bring it to where, I don't see the trail anymore. This could be a lot. You don't have to do that, but, make the trail as long as you think you want it. I'm just going to go right out of the scene with this. And if you wind up getting too many, it's going to really slow down your computer, of course, when you're doing the effects. So what you could do, to cheat a little bit, you can change your echo time seconds. It'll spread them out a little bit more, but it does help. I'm going to type in negative, let's see, minus 0.6. That'll spread them out a little bit more. And then this way I can go, you have to adjust all, all those three things, your keyframes for this, you have to adjust this. The echo time seconds and number of echoes. You have to be careful on the echo time seconds, because if you change it too much, you'll notice a popping in your effect, because it'll come out in a popping way. You get more detail by going closer together, so you don't want to spread them out too far, so be careful there. This is pretty much like half of what the original, the default setting was. So try to keep it at default setting if you can, and go with more echoes just to get more detail. Okay, now as you can see it's pulling away. Your echo stays there, and you get that cool, effect. So this is kind of what it's looking like now. Alright, so it's basically pulling away from him, and the original echo stays in place. Now, you can adjust the outline effect wherever you want it. If you want it underneath, I put it over top so it looked like it was flowing around him. Depending on your scene, you'll have to change that a little bit. But this is basically to learn how to do the effect. You'll have to play with the layer settings. There's no way I'd have enough time to go through a whole tutorial on that. I'm sure you can figure that out if you know After Effects, just to adjust them and everything like that. But this is basically, like I said, just to learn how to get this echo out and make it look somewhat like what you need it to look like. Now, to give it a smoky look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably bring... we'll leave that like that for now. Now, I want to get more detail in this, so I'm going to go with... that one's kind of good for the displacement effect. I don't want to go too crazy because, I got the cam program running, but I don't want to give you the displacement trail. That one, if you want to get that displacement look that I got, go with the farther apart trail, the 0.06 version. Get them spaced farther apart, because it'll give you a more bubbly look, like I got in my displacement. This one, closer together, will give you the smoke look. So now, after I get them where I want them, you have to play with it a little bit. I'm going to, after the transform, you go to Blur, and add 2 fast blurs. I'm going to duplicate that effect. Set the first one to the horizontal, second one to vertical. Turn on repeat edge pixels for both of them. Now, very carefully, I'm hitting the up. I'm starting at 0. I'm pressing the up.